Right, Justin.
Laurent.
Laurent Ferrier.
Yeah.
A brand that I heavily associate
very
with
close
you.
to my heart. Very, very close to my heart.
Why?
I am biased because I owned 2 or 3. I've worked with them recently. I always dreamt of owning one. William & Son used to have them. I used to hang around like a bad smell around there because they were there with Jean, they were there with Romain Gaultier, they were there with Ludovic Balois.
Yeah.
The timing of their business was just wrong, and
Yep.
I used to love it. And I used to say, can I get one to just handle? And you turn the watch over, and it was the finishing. Immediately
Yes,
finishing,
fine.
micro rotor, black polishing, the Geneva striping, but just the audacity, but yet elegance of the finishing,
Yeah.
the handcraft, also the architecture. Now, this is something I've only recently learned from them, spending time with more time with them, is Laurent's son, who's coming in through the business and he's going to take over one day. He's sort of a movement architect, and they value the front of the watch as much as they value the back of the watch,
Yeah.
which is really interesting. But more than that, to me, you know, and Laurent spent many years at Patek, and he was involved in the Nautilus, he was involved in the Aquanaut, but he was involved at an amazing time at Patek for design. And there's no one in the watch world right now, and it's funny because I've chatted with others in the watch world recently who own brands. I'm sure he wouldn't mind me saying guys like Max Buser, for example, who are huge fans of Laurent's work, because he can recognise when you see the assegai spear African hands, you see the markers, the elongation on the markers, you see the classic case, the galet. By the way, I'm not in any shape or form being paid, but it's just, it's the detailing that Laurent has. He's got an eye for design that I don't think others have. He's got a classic case, the Sport Auto, he's got the Square, the École, and he's not trying to do too much. I think other things I've learned recently is that the business is bootstrapped, you know, from the very outset.
I mean, how compelling is that?
Francois, Mr. Savrin, you know, was a friend of Laurent who he raced with, and he supported the business to be launched. They've not taken money from big brands. Big brands, I gather, big groups have sniffed around, but nothing's happened. So it's all of that together, and it's just a very elegant brand. It's almost Patek of yesteryear.
There's a magic to it, I think. So the complete honesty, I remember a year ago when, you know, I'd seen your stuff, I just didn't connect straight away. And it was only really in the past few months, and then meeting them, going out and spending some time. And it was actually Raoul, you know, insane collector, and he fell in love with the brand when he sat and met them and really handled the watches. And he talked about the micro rotor, just being reminiscent of the original 240 micro rotor from Patek. It just does not made like that anymore. The natural, I mean, for me, it's that. It's the Patek or classic watchmaking heritage that is so evident in all of it, the proportions, the cases, and then the natural escapement. Movements are what ultimately excite me. And when I wear this, it's always, I'm like, no, guys, turn it over. And then people are like, oh, that's cool. And there's a restraint to it, which I think they don't need to have a party at the front and at the back. But what I'm really, really, really taken in by is their ability to fill a gap in the market, which I think is the Patek of yesteryear. I don't really know who else is doing that in the same, or could do it in the same way Laurent is doing, but he's such a quiet man. Because he doesn't speak English. I think that's, for me, made him even more compelling. He wasn't like, look at my amazing work. No. He just wanted to talk about the natural escapement and the case on, he's so proud of that and proud of what it represents.
I think you can boil it down to the smallest of detail, which is the size of the logo. For me, vintage watches always had small logos. These days, you get brands pumping the size of the logo up to the point where it's like in your face. He doesn't need to scream and shout. And look at it, it is so elegant. The type font, I don't know what it is. It's so beautiful, so elegant. And it really is a brand for those who know. It's an insider's brand, and I hope that doesn't change. You know, their production is sort of set now at about 500 a year. They used to be at very much less than that. Their new location, as you saw, I only saw it a few weeks back, is amazing. You know, really beautiful. And they just continue to evolve on their shapes, their DNA. They've got a very strong DNA, I think, in a world where all of that kind of matters, especially if you're going to spend this type of money. I like the font type. I like the fact that there's only a few different types of family designs. I mean, it's all there. It's really all there. And the finishing is still of a very, very high standard for the cost, you know, as prices for everybody have gone
through the roof. If we're honest.
You know, they still, you know, their prices, by the way, have also gone up. But I think you look at the quality of the work, and that comes back to that sort of conversation we had earlier about quality and looking for it. And I see
you feel it.
I feel it and see it for sure.
If you're buying a Laurent Ferrier, what are you trying to buy? Like if you're a collector out there, you've seen something on your wrist, and you're like, oh, maybe that's what I want. What are you buying?
Original design.
That's
the first thing
it's
I think
original
of, original
design.
design. When I see that classic shape, and I've got one of those, and I've got a micro rotor just because I felt that micro rotor movement was so important. I needed to happen to find a dial that I think is equally as stunning actually as the movement. But to me, it's an original shape. You know, I see that very much that pebble shape. He's inspired by nature. And it's just shaped, and it's beautiful. I mean, the crown is so easy to use, so it's not just for looks, it's ergonomic as well.
Yeah. At what point did you really get it, or was it always? So you just looked in the window and got it? Was that early?
I would probably go back to an image that, you know, Ben Clymer from Hodinkee published batouche in Baselworld, like 2015 or something, and he had these 4 watches. He had a Dufour, Simplicity, he had an FP Journe Tourbillon, he had a micro rotor. I think it was his bespoke one, so grey dial with Arabic numerals, Breguet numerals, sorry. And he had one other there, I can't remember what that was. I think it was a Patek, like a complicated, like monopusher Patek or whatever.
Okay.
And he's like, these are the 4 most important watches of the year.
Oh,
just
wow.
An iPhone photo, pretty shitty photo. And I was like, okay, cool. And then of course you see him and others getting into the brand and being, you know, excited by it. And I think someone once said something like, I think he's publicly, I think he said it recently about the brand where someone asked him, what do you think of Laurent Ferrier? He said, think of Patek 20 years ago. And that's what you get. There'll be arguments about that, for sure. But in many ways, I think you've got something that's fairly honest about that as well. So yeah, I think it was always pretty clear to me that it was special in a world where it's hard to find original design and be inspired by that. And you know, you can see that case from a distance, and I immediately know what I'm looking at, and I'm fired up by
That's true, and that's really nice. And I'll leave it on that, which was again, and obviously you can't, you know, try before you buy that. I mean, that would be amazing. But there was the connection I built with this watch after wearing it pretty much every day for a month, at loads of different, you know, I'll wear it with, I don't know, shorts and t-shirt, and I'll also wear it at a wedding. It really is one of those things that people pick up and are so interested in learning more. And as soon as my line, I had the patter down at the wedding this weekend. You know, you mentioned Le Mans, you mentioned Patek and the glory years of Patek. I think it's like 37 or 39 years, can't exactly remember. And then you say, age 67, he goes out on his own and says, for my son, really, I'm going to go out on my own, start a brand, and I'm going to take everything I've learned and channel it into my life's work.
You forget he's a bit like the Colonel from KFC.
Yeah, exactly.
In his business in the 60s.
It's just amazing.
But I wonder if you found this with the Blue Origin is titanium case and a dressy watch is quite a funny combination.
It's a great combination.
Yeah, it's a really fun combination.
And I like grade 5 titanium. And for me, it's kind of almost like playful. You know, you'd expect it to be some sort of precious metal, but that's what Laurent Ferrier has become to me. Has become this guy who, you know, in the 70s was racing at the 24-hour Le Mans race. Then he was, you know, at Patek making the most complicated Pateks. And now at age 67, when most people want to retire, and I'm sure he could have, he's gone, no, I'm going to build a whole brand. And as somebody who loves the concept of building businesses or just something from nothing, when I meet people, you know, even if somebody who does my eyebrows, whatever, and they're branching out and they've got a new boutique coming up, I'm just so behind them. I just want them to succeed. People who do their own thing and doing it at 67.
And it should be noted that it's not been easy. They've been on a roller coaster, and the fact they're here and stronger than ever 15 years after that.
To the date, pretty much.
Is amazing.
It's 50, right? 2010 was the
15 years, yeah.
And I'm excited for the next 15. Is that the plan? Then it goes to his son and...
Yeah, I think so. There's a designer, there's a guy called Martin there at the moment who's very much learning at Laurent's ethos. And then between him and Christian Ferrier, you know, they're going to then take it forward. And I really feel like it's set for continued success for those that are as geeky as us.
On that note, I think it's a special brand, and thank you for once again introducing it, or financially rude, if you whatever you want to say. Thank you.